Hello everyone. So in today's topic we are going to discuss about the skeletal system. So definition of skeletal system: the bodily system that consists of bones, their associated cartilages and joints which work as a support system for your body. For a body to work, they need bones, cartilages and joints. So it gives the body its shape. So the skeletal system is the one which gives the body a shape. It allows movement, make blood cells. So the long bones are the main thing, and some bones, these flat bones are the one which are help in the production of the red blood cells in a body because of the marrow, bone marrow that is being present in these bones. This is the one which helps in making of the blood cells. It provides protection for organs. So here you can see this rib cage. It's a cage where the internal organs are being protected, which are being present inside the rib cage, that is the lungs, the heart, etc. So the skull, the cranium is the one which protects the cranial parts, that is the brain and the associated things. So the spinal cord is the one which is being protected by the vertebral column. So the protection of the organs are also being take place by the skeletal system. So stores minerals. The bone is the one which is being the main source of storing the minerals. So it forms the cavities, that is the depressions or hollows which protect some structures, and the fossae that it forms the joints and gives attachment to the muscles. So this skeletal system, it forms cavities. As I already said that the cranial cavity, the thoracic cavity, the pelvic cavity. The cavity is the one that is the depression or hollows which protect some structures. For protecting of some structures, there will be a hollow part, there will be a space. So that is called as a cavity. And fossae are the one, it forms the joint and give attachment to the muscles. Here you can see this ball and socket joint. Here a fossae is being present, a small depression, a small pit-like thing is being present. Because for the attachment of the bone, a small pit-like, a small depression is being present. That is mainly to form a joint and also for the attachment of the muscles. So skeletal system also contains this cavities and the fossae. It is also called as the musculoskeletal system. The skeletal system is also named as musculoskeletal system because the muscles are also taking part in the skeletal system. So this is the definition of the skeletal system. So next, bones. Bone is a living, growing tissue. So we are growing as the age progresses. The bones are also growing. So because it's a living and a growing tissue, that's why the bones are increasing in length is being taking place in the bones. So it is mostly made with collagen. So what is collagen? Collagen is a protein. It provides a soft framework, whereas calcium phosphate is a mineral that adds strength and hardens the bony framework. So the collagen is a soft protein, okay, but this protein is being hardened by this calcium phosphate that gives the strength and hardening of the bones. So that is the main thing which is being present in the bones, that the calcium phosphate is a mineral that is being giving strength. So this combination of collagen and calcium makes the bone strong and flexible, which helps to withstand the stress. So the stress in the sense, we are standing for so long, so the bone must be very strong enough to bear our weight. So that is being also taken care of, this collagen and the calcium. So it is being strong and flexible and helps to withstand the stress. The body is being able to bear our weight. That is the meaning, that it helps to withstand the stress. The skeleton forms the cavity, which means a hole or hollow depression, while fossae is a pit or groove. As I mentioned earlier, the skeleton forms the cavity. Here you can see the cranial cavity and the vertebral cavity, the thoracic cavity, the abdominal cavity, the pelvic cavity. These are the cavities being present because for the protection of the organs inside the cavity, this space is being present. And the fossae, here you can see is a cubital fossae. Here you can see there's a small depression. That's a cubital fossa, is a triangular depression that lies in front of the elbow. So in front of the elbow you can see a small depression or groove. That is called as a fossa. So types of bones. The human body has 5 types of bones. They are the long bones, short bones, flat bones, irregular bones, and sesamoid bones. So flat bones are present in the skull. So flat bones. Short bones are present in the hands. Irregular bones are the main which being present in the vertebral column or spinal column. So that is being the irregular bone. The long bone are present in the leg. The sesamoid bone that are being present in the knees, the patella bone. So that is called the sesamoid bone. So these are the main 5 types of bones. So let us discuss everything in detail. So the long bones have a diaphysis and 2 epiphyses at the extremities. So you can see epiphysis, the end part is called as the epiphysis and the middle part is called as the diaphysis or shaft. So the diaphysis is composed of compact bone with a central medullary canal. This central medullary canal is composed of fatty yellow bone marrow. So first we'll see this diagram in detail. So this is the part where spongy bone is present. It contains red bone marrow. You can see it is having so many holes, porous thing are being present. So this is a spongy bone, contains red bone marrow. Next, the outer one is called as the periosteum. The outer layer is called the periosteum. The medullary canal is the middle thing. There's a hollow place. It contains yellow bone marrow. So it contains the red bone marrow and here it contains the yellow bone marrow. So here you can see a thickening of the bone that is called as the compact bone. So periosteum is the outer one and next is the compact bone. So here you can see veins, arteries are being present. That is a nutrient artery in the foramen. For the bone to grow, for the bone to nourish, so it needs some blood supply. That is a nutrient artery in the foramen. And here you can see a cartilage, hyaline cartilage, articular or hyaline cartilage is being present because 2 bones are going to join here. So this one and another one bone will be joining here. So to reduce the friction for shock absorption, so when we jump or something, that must be a cushioning, no? So for that, this hyaline cartilage is present at both the ends. So you can see because this bone is going to get attached to the another bone and it will form a joint. So for that the hyaline cartilage is being present. Now you can read. The diaphysis is composed of compact bone with central medullary canal. So compact bone is being present with central medullary canal is being present. The diaphysis. This central medullary canal is composed of fatty yellow bone marrow. So as we saw already, it contains the fatty yellow bone marrow. The epiphysis consists of an outer covering called the compact bone and a spongy or cancellous bone inside. So only this epiphysis, this end part contains the spongy bone inside and the compact bone outside. So the diaphysis and epiphysis are separated by epiphyseal cartilage and this will ossify when the growth is complete. So between this epiphysis and the diaphysis there will be an epiphyseal cartilage will be present and this will ossify, this will stop and this will stop its growth when the growth is complete. When a person has attained their full growth, then this epiphyseal cartilage will stop growing and this will ossify. And the long bones are almost covered by a vascular membrane, that is the periosteum, which has 2 layers. So the periosteum, as I told, the outermost thing, that is the one which contains this vascular membrane. Vascular membrane means that contains the blood supply, that is called as a vascular membrane. So the periosteum has 2 layers, that is the outer tough layer, fibrous. Outer layer is tough and fibrous and it protects the bone underneath. So the outer layer is very tough because just imagine we are getting so many hits in our legs, everywhere, wherever the bone is being present, so many hits are being happening. But not all the time we are getting fracture. When that is the intensity of the hit matters. So because of the outer layer of this periosteum is very tough and fibrous, it protects the bone. It protects the bone underneath. So the inner layer consists of the osteoblast, osteoclast, the cell responsible for bone production and breakdown, and it is important in repair and remodeling of the bone. So the outer layer of the periosteum, it consists of this vascular membrane, and the inner layer of this periosteum that consists of the bone cells, that is called as the osteoblast. That means the cell responsible for the bone production, and osteoclasts are responsible for the bone breakdown. So this is the one which is important for the repair and remodeling. So the repair and remodeling, since when we are getting a fracture or something, hit or something, the bone has to repair itself and remodel itself. So that is being happened by this osteoblast and osteoclast. So with growth plates at either end. So the growth plate, this is called as the growth plate. The epiphyses are the growth plate. They are at the either end. Both the ends they are being present. So the long bones have a hard outer surface of compact bone and spongy inner known as the cancellous bone containing bone marrow. So usually the long bones have a hard outer surface with compact bone. We saw in the picture, no? Compact bone is outer and the spongy bone is inner. The spongy bone is also called as the cancellous bone. Okay. Both the ends of the bones are covered with hyaline cartilage. This protects the bone from aid in shock absorption. So as I told earlier, when we are jumping or so many movements are being happening in this bone. So the two bones are being friction all the time. So that is being reduced and the shock is being absorbed by this hyaline cartilage at the end. So I told you this small blue color one, that is the hyaline cartilage is being present in both the ends of the long bone. The longest bones in the body are the femur, humerus and tibia. Femur, that is the leg bone. Humerus, that is the hand bone, that is the forearm, that bone. And the tibia, that is the lower leg, that is the tibia. So the periosteum covers the entire bone except within the joint cavities, allows the attachment of the tendons, and it is continuous with the joint capsule. So the periosteum, the outer layer is there, no? That will be not covering the places where the joint cavities, because both the bones have to be joined and form a cavity, no? So at that places only this periosteum won't cover. Either all the parts of the bone will cover, only the place where the bone is going to form a joint, that place this periosteum won't cover, because for the allows the attachment of the tendons. So that is the thing. And it is continuous with the joint capsule. The hyaline cartilage replaces the periosteum on the bone surface and that forms the joint. So as I mentioned earlier, the hyaline cartilage is the one which is going to replace. The thickening of the bone occurs under the periosteum by the deposition of the new bones. So the new cells, that is being the cell responsible for bone production, is the osteoblast. No? So this is being present in this periosteum. The periosteum, the inner layer of the periosteum contains this bone cells. Because of that bone cells, the thickening of the bone occurs, because the deposition of the new bone tissue will be just stagnated everywhere under this periosteum, and it gives the thickening of the bone. So that's why the bones are very thicker. So this is about the long bone and the functions of the long bone. Or long bones are hard, dense bones, and it provides strength, structure and mobility. So the strength is being present, structure, it gives a proper structure, and the mobility, we are moving everywhere, that is because of a long bone. It is found in the upper and the lower extremities, the arms and the legs. So upper extremities in the sense the hands, and the lower extremities in the sense the legs. The femur or the thigh bone is a good example for the long bone, and it allows to walk and support the skeleton. So this is a femur bone. This is a long bone. It allows to walk and support the skeleton. The long bone's function is to bear the weight of the body and facilitate movement, because this is the one which is bearing the whole weight of the body, no? And it facilitates the movement. So the structural role, these bones play a crucial role in the production of the bone marrow. They contain both the yellow bone marrow and the red bone marrow, which plays a vital role for the production of the blood cells. So the blood cell production, it is mainly taken place by this red bone marrow and the yellow bone marrow, which is being present in this long bones. So the long bones are humerus. You can see this, the in hand part, the humerus one, the femur and the tibia. These are the main three long bones present in a body. So next one is the short bone. The second type is the short bones. The name says that they are very short. Short bones are as wide as they are long and have a primary function is to provide support and stability with little movement. So short bones, they are mainly present in this hand part. You can imagine the hands and the legs. the short bones, they are very wide. Wide in the sense they are not very long, they are very short, but they are very wide, and have the primary function is to provide support and stability with little movement. Imagine that you are lifting a 5 kg weight, and that little movement is being supported by our hands, no? So that is being mainly supported by the short bones. So the examples of short bones, the carpal and the tarsal. The carpal in the sense the wrist, and the tarsal in the sense the foot bones. Here you can see in hand you can see this carpal bones. These are the carpal bones. In legs, these are the tarsal bones. These are the tarsal small bones. They are very small, but they are very wide. The breadth is very big. So that is being mentioned. They consist of only a thin layer of compact bone, the hard bone with spongy bone on inside, along with relatively large amount of bone marrow. So large amount of bone marrow is being present, and they are containing a small thin layer of compact bone, outer bone, and a spongy bone. Mainly they are composed with the spongy bone. Here you can see thin layer of compact bone with so many spongy bone are being present. But in the long bone we saw that the compact bone is being thicker outside all everywhere, and the spongy bone only is present in the end of the at the end of the epiphysis. They are being present. Wait, here you can see the spongy bone are present at the end, and the compact bone are present over everywhere. So this is the difference between the short bones and the long bones. The compact bone is very hard and strong. So as we saw earlier, the compact bone are very strong and hard. The spongy bone is found inside the bone, which are lighter and less dense compared to the compact bone. So compared to the compact bone, spongy, as the name says that they are very spongy, they are very lighter and less dense, less thicker. So, okay. This is because the spongy bone is porous. The spongy bone, they are very they will be having small pores in it, small holes. That is like sponge, that how it absorbs, the small holes in it. The bone marrow is a soft connective tissue, and it produces the red blood cells. So the bone marrow which is being present, and it is the main thing which helps in the production of the red blood cells. So this is about the short bones. So next is the flat bones. So here you can see the flat bones are being present in this. The frontal bones, the head, in the head you can see the frontal bones, the parietal bone, the occipital bones, and the scapula, the shoulder. In the shoulder, back of the shoulder, you can see a scapula. That is a type of flat bone. And the hip, there you can see a flat bone. The sternum, the ribs, they are flat bones. And the lacrimal bone, in the eyes, the lacrimal bone, the nasal bone, the vomer, they are flat bones. So now you can read. Flat bones are strong, flat plates of bones, and the main function is to provide protection to the body's vital organs and serving as a base for muscular attachment. The flat bones are mainly made for the protection of the vital organs in it. Here the pelvic organs, here the thoracic organs, the lungs, the heart. Here in head you can see that the brain, everything that is being protected. So mainly for the protection of the vital organs and serving as a base for muscular attachment. So something needs to be flat for something to get attached. No, if it's irregular, the attachment won't be that much strong. So for the flat bones, mainly serves for the muscular attachment. The examples of flat bones are the scapula, the shoulder blade, the sternum, the breastbone, the cranium, the skull, the ilium, the hip bones, the pelvis, and the ribs. So the ribs, these are the things where the flat bones are being present. Anterior and posterior surface are formed of compact bone because they provide the strength and protection to the center consisting of the cancellous bone and varying amount of bone marrow. So the bone marrow, outer it has a compact bone, and middle it has a spongy or the cancellous bone and the varying amount of bone marrow. In all the bones, the compact bone comes outside, the spongy bone comes inside, and the bone marrow is being present, but the amount of distribution is being differed. So that is the main thing. In adults, the higher number of red blood cells are formed in flat bones. So in adults, the highest number of red blood cells are produced in the flat bones. So this is about the flat bones. Then the irregular bones. The name says that they are not regular, they are irregular. So irregular due to their uniform and non-uniform shape, these bones in the body which do not fall in any of the category. They are not short, they are not long, they are not sesamoid, they are not everything, they are irregular. So the name, because of this name, they fall under this irregular bone category. The best example are the vertebrae, the vertebral column, the spinal cord, no, the vertebral column, that is the one. The sacrum, here you can see these are the flat bones in this, but here you can see that is the uneven shape is there, no? So this is the one that comes under the irregular bones. The sacrum, the mandible, the jaw part, so that is very not in even shape, that is very uneven, so that comes under this irregular bone. They consist of cancellous bone inside with a thin layer of compact bone. As I said, all the bones, compact bone comes outside and the cancellous or the spongy bone comes inside. They have a complex shape which helps to protect the internal organs. So the protection of internal organs being taking place. For example, the vertebrae, the irregular bones of the vertebral column protects the spinal cord. Here you can see the spinal cord. The spinal cord is being protected by this vertebral column because of its uneven shape. Even though it is uneven, it protects the spinal cord. So that is the main thing. The irregular bones, the protection of the internal organs is being taking place. So here the sacrum is being protecting the internal pelvic organs. So here the mandible is being protecting the mouth organ, that is the tongue, everything, whatever the teeth, everything. So that is being protected. So that is the irregular bones. Last one is the sesamoid bone. Sesamoid bones are usually short, round bones embedded in a tendon. Here you can see they are very short and round. So here this is a pisiform, that is a short and round bone. They are embedded in a tendon. Tendon is the one that is like connective. It's a type of connective tissue, but very thick, little bit thicker. Not very hard as the bone, but they are slightly thicker. That's a type of connective tissue. The most obvious example of sesamoid bone is the patella, also called as kneecap, which sits within the patella or quadriceps tendon. Here you can see the patella bone, which is being attached with this patella tendon. This is a tendon. It's a type of connective tissue. It is being protected by this patella bone. Some of the other examples of sesamoid bone are the pisiform, the smallest of the carpals. Here you can see the pisiform, the smallest of the carpal bones. I told you, the short bones, the carpal bones. In that, a small one is the pisiform. And also two small bones at the base of the first metatarsal. In the legs, in the first base of the metatarsal, the small bones are being present. So that is also an example. The sesamoid bones are usually present in a tendon which pass over a joint to protect the tendon. So mainly the sesamoid bone is present in a joint. Here you can see this is a knee joint. So two bones are getting joined. That joint must be protected. So that is being protected by this tendon. The sesamoid bone is protecting the tendon. So here you can see this is a wrist joint. So for the attachment of a tendon, this pisiform is the one which is providing a protection. Its purpose is to reinforce and decrease the stress on that tendon. So if you think that if you are getting a hit directly on the tendon will get damaged. But the bone is a one which is a growing tissue which is mainly made up of collagen and the calcium phosphate, and because of the calcium phosphate it is very hardened and the strength and it is very firm. So because of that property, the bones are being present in the joint part, because it reduces the stress on the tendon, because it protects the tendon. So that's why it is being present. So that is about this sesamoid bone. So far we have discussed about the long bones, short bones, flat bones, irregular bones and the sesamoid bones. So I hope you got a good idea about all these bones. So in all that bones, compact bone is the one which is being present in the outside, and the spongy or the cancellous bone is the one which is being present inside, and everyone is producing, it is having a bone marrow and the red blood cells are being produced, but the amount of production is being varied according to the age and according to the place where they are produced. So but in adults, the flat bones are the one, the higher amount of the red blood cells are being produced. So thank you so much. So far we have discussed about the skeletal system. So next also we are going to see about the continuation of the skeletal system. So if you have any doubts, kindly post in the comment section below. I have posted the same video in Tamil. So if you want, kindly have a look on it. And I've also made this the content which I've given in a blog, in my blogger website. So if you don't want all this explanation, just you want the content, you can just visit my blogger website and you can just take a screenshot, you can study. So thank you so much. So hope you like my video.